Folks around here always say fireworks don't just light up the night. They rip the mask off, showing you who people really are when the sky is exploding in color. I used to roll my eyes at that, thinking it was just small town talk, but last 4th of July, man, it hit me like a freight train. While I was out back, shirt sticking to my skin, flipping ribs on a smoking grill for my wife's family, the real fireworks weren't up above. They were in her eyes, blazing for someone else, setting fire to everything I thought was mine. Name's Evan, 31, and up until that hell-hot summer day, I figured I had it made. A wife who was my ride or die, a crew of buddies who'd show up with the cooler of beers and dumb jokes, and a tradition that made our little cul-de-sac the place to be. Every 4th, Alyssa and I threw the kind of backyard barbecue that had neighbors begging for invites. Picture it. Picnic tables decked out in red and white checkers, piled high with burgers dripping juice, ribs slathered in my special sauce that took years to perfect, and my mama's potato salad that folks fought over. Flags and bunting flapping in the breeze, kids running wild with sparklers, screaming like they'd won the lottery, and a playlist we'd spent weeks tweaking. Springsteen, Skynyrd, a little CCR to keep it real. We'd hit up the local fireworks stand, picking out the biggest, loudest boomers, planning a show that'd make jaws drop. That was us, man. Alyssa and me, building memories, making magic, turning our backyard into the heart of the neighborhood. Thing is, Tyler had become part of that magic too. He was always around, offering to mow our lawn when I was swamped, swinging by with extras from his grill, fixing a loose board on the fence without being asked. Alyssa used to joke that he was handier than me. I'd laugh it off, not seeing how often her eyes followed him when he thought no one was watching. But this year, something was off, like the air was too thick, buzzing with a storm waiting to break. Alyssa wasn't herself. She was a damn stranger. Barely looked at me all day, her eyes glued to her phone or darting around like she was planning an escape. She trashed our playlist, swapping our rock and roll heart for some generic pop crap that made my skin crawl. She bit my head off for nothing. Plastic cups running low, a tray of buns getting a tad too toasty, her voice sharp enough to slice through the July heat. And she kept slipping inside, mumbling about checking the oven or grabbing something. Oven? What oven? The burgers were done, ribs were resting, sides were chilling in the fridge. Every time she came back, her smile was fake as a $3 bill, her eyes dodging mine like I was the last person she wanted to see. I kept telling myself I was overthinking it. Maybe she was stressed, her mom riding her about the party. Maybe the heat was getting to her, or her cousin's kids were driving her nuts. And yeah, maybe part of her had been drifting for a while, feeling like life turned into routines and backyard chores, like I'd stopped listening and started just maintaining. She'd said it once in passing, that she missed the excitement we used to have, but I didn't think she'd go looking for that spark in someone else's arms. Maybe, I hoped, praying to God, she just needed a little spark to bring her back to me, to the girl I'd twirled under the stars last year, laughing as we danced to Sweet Home Alabama. Truth was, she'd already found her spark, and it wasn't with me. It was with Tyler, the guy next door, the one I'd called a friend without batting an eye. Just last week, we'd been out back together, stringing up fairy lights on the fence, cracking jokes as we wrestled with tangled cords. Earlier that day, he'd handed me a cold one, clinked his bottle against mine, and toasted to real love with the grin that now feels like a punch to the gut. I'd let him into our home, our life, thinking he was solid, and all along he was stealing the one thing I thought was untouchable. When the fireworks kicked off, lighting up the sky in bursts of red, white, and blue, Alyssa muttered something about needing her jacket from our bedroom. Jacket? It was 85 degrees, humid enough to make you feel like you were breathing soup, but I didn't call her out on it. I was too busy playing host, refilling beers, making sure the kids didn't burn the yard down with their sparklers. 5 minutes went by, then 10. The crowd was hooting and howling at the sky, but my stomach was twisting, a cold dread creeping up my spine like I swallowed a chunk of ice. Something wasn't right. I handed the tongs to my buddy Mike, told him to keep an eye on the grill, and headed inside to find her. I'll never shake what I saw when I got to our bedroom.
The door was cracked just enough for her laugh to slip out. A soft, flirty giggle I hadn't heard in months, not since we'd stay up late dreaming about buying a cabin someday. I pushed it open and there she was. Alyssa, my Alyssa, tangled up in our sheets, her hair a mess, her eyes locked on Tyler. He was shirtless, leaning back with a smug-ass smirk, looking way too comfortable in my bed. The woman I'd slow danced with last Fourth, her arms around my neck as we swayed to Born to Run under a shower of sparklers, was wrapped up in another guy's arms, in the heart of the home we'd built from the ground up. She didn't even jump when she saw me standing there, my heart pounding louder than the fireworks outside. No gasp, no scrambling to cover up, just a cool, practiced, "Evan, I didn't want you to find out like this." Like she'd been waiting for this moment, like she'd rehearsed it in her head and was ready to move on. Like this, on our day, in our bed, in the middle of the party we'd poured our souls into, with her family eating my food, our friends clapping at my fireworks, and the life we'd sworn to share forever. It hit me like a sledgehammer, knocking the air out of my lungs. But I didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't even have words. I just turned and walked out, the booms from the sky mocking me with every step, their flashes fading into a blur as I stumbled back to the yard, trying to keep my face from giving me away. Here's the kicker. Alicia had no clue I was already a step ahead. Weeks back, I'd started noticing things, little stuff that didn't add up. A text she'd swipe away when I walked in, her phone screen going dark too fast. Hours missing from her day, brushed off with half-assed stories about running errands or meeting a friend for coffee. A coldness in her touch, like her heart had packed up and left without telling me. It ate at me, but I didn't want to believe it. Still, I wasn't dumb. I went to a lawyer, keeping it on the down low. By July 3rd, I had divorce papers drawn up, signed, and stashed in my desk drawer, waiting for the right moment. I kept hoping I wouldn't need them, praying I was wrong about her. But she just handed me that moment, gift wrapped in betrayal and the sour stink of Tyler's dollar store cologne. Next morning, while the house was still quiet, the backyard a mess of empty cans and crumpled napkins, I left one thing on the kitchen table, a plain white envelope. No note, no big speech, just the papers that said it all. She'd lit her spark, and I was done keeping her fire going. The fallout? Man, it was a wildfire. Tyler's girlfriend got wind of it, thanks to a group chat that blew up with screenshots and tea. Somebody at the party had spotted them sneaking off, and the gossip spread faster than a grease fire. By noon the next day, she'd kicked Tyler to the curb, leaving him to slink back to his side of the fence, his charm worth about as much as the empty beer cans littering my lawn. Alyssa, she got burned bad. The house was in my name, something she never thought to check in all our years together. The savings, locked up tight before she could even dream of touching it. And the party guests, they knew the whole damn story by the weekend, thanks to a nosy neighbor with a big mouth and a security cam that caught way more than I ever wanted to see. Small towns don't shut up, and this one chewed Alyssa up for weeks, the whispers trailing her like a bad smell. Me? I kept moving. It wasn't easy. There were nights when the quiet hurt worse than the betrayal, when I could still hear her laugh, their laugh, echoing in my head like a song stuck on repeat. But I rebuilt, one day at a time, until I found myself somewhere new. Next 4th of July, I was standing on a rooftop in a new city, watching fireworks explode across a sky so dark it felt like a fresh start. The bursts, crimson, sapphire, and gold, lit up the face of someone new beside me. She grabbed my hand as the sparks rained down, her fingers warm, steady, real. When the sky went dark again, she didn't let go, her grip telling me I was worth holding on to. They say fireworks show you who you really are, and damn if they aren't right. That night, I figured out I'm the guy who gets back up, who takes a gut punch and still chases the next light. Alyssa, she's just a flicker now, lost in the glow of someone else's spark, while I'm out here building a fire that's all my own.